Hey guys, welcome back to Coin Knowledge. So today we're going to be taking a look at the RWA real world assets narrative, kind of highlighting a newer project that did actually go ahead and launch their token here recently. One that I think is actually being pretty slept on, but not for too much longer in my opinion. And as always guys, if you guys get value out of the content in the video, if you guys can consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, your support really means a lot and I really appreciate it. So if we get into the video, why are we talking about real world assets, RWA? Because I do think it is going to be one of the hottest narratives of the cycle. RWA has been a narrative that we've highlighted in the past. It's one that I think when people do look across some of the hottest narratives in crypto, they take a look at, kind of the big ones you often hear are memes, which has been taking over for the majority of this cycle so far. A lot of people were saying that we are kind of in a meme super cycle, that memes are going to lead the charge and utilities kind of dead. Well, I like a lot of other people that influencers, whoever, talk about and have the thesis of that utility is coming back. Again, we are at the very start of an altcoin season, or at least very close to the start of an altcoin season. So I think utility coins are going to make a return. And when we take a look, again, you hear stuff about memes being some of the hot narratives are memes, AI, gaming, DPIN, and AI kind of get basket together. But RWA is another narrative that I do think is going to get a lot of attention. I think that there's just too much real world, no pun intended, kind of interchange or interoperability there with stuff like BlackRock getting invested into it, talking about it, having partnerships, and some of the top RWA projects like Ondo, which is one we've talked about in the past. But today I want to highlight, again, a newer project in the space. We take a look here, RWA, we're seeing a lot of green in the sector, but obviously not as much green as something like meme coins or something like even AI here recently. But the project I want to talk about is actually RWA Inc, which is one that has been on my radar for quite a bit. They did go ahead and launch their token here very recently. They launched on the 25th of November of 2024. If you take a look at their Twitter, we're going to get into their website, why I think that this project is severely undervalued, even though it is a newer launch. I do have to make the disclaimer of, yes, this token is newly launched. It is, less than a week old. There is still a lot of room for volatility and choppiness, whether it goes extremely to the upside or dips severely. That is the risk that you take on. So again, it is a new market launch, so just let it kind of play out for a little bit. But this thing could go either way, but I do have to just let you guys know that. And as always, nothing I say in these videos is financial advice, just giving you guys my opinion and highlighting some different projects. But if we take a look at it, again, RWA Inc, they do have a lot of followers. Over 250,000 on X. We have people like Crypto Hub, Virtual Bacon, one of the bigger influencers following them. And they did go ahead and go live on a couple exchanges, which we'll get into. But if we take a look at what they are all about, first of all, I think their website is pretty clean. Honestly, they say that they're obviously about tokenization made easy. They have a lot of partnerships, a lot of money raised, signups, market that they're tapping into, which we'll talk about all that here in a little bit. But if we go down to what their mission is, they say that their mission is about really just tokenizing everything except tokenization as a service. So when we take a look at their products, what they necessarily offer, underneath their suite of products, we can take a look at. So they have a couple things. They have their tokenization as a service, which what that is it can be token design, utility, marketing, branding, go-to-market strategy, kind of helping, again, projects get tokenized and maybe come to market. As far as the RWA sector goes, a lot of RWA projects obviously target tokenization, so no shock there. They do have a launchpad also, which I thought was pretty interesting. So it actually does have an RWA launchpad, which again enables RWA projects to raise capital efficiently as well, so they can launch their project. There's not a whole lot of RWA launchpads, dedicated RWA launchpads, at least to my attention. So I do think that is something new that we've seen in the space. So I do think that is a bullish aspect. They also have the RWA exchange as well, which again, not something we see a whole lot of either. Then RWA marketplace, which you can take a look at stuff that's tokenized for the real world. You can get on here and start trading it, so they can list multi-asset, RWA tokens. They can also, have the ability to buy and sell RWA equity tokens across multiple areas as well. So again, tokenization, that's pretty standard across RWA projects that we've seen. But so they have a few things going on. I do think the launchpad and the exchange are pretty interesting. They also have their marketplace here as well. Take a look at their roadmap. Right now we're in Q4, so they did just again go ahead with the TGE as well. Now, if we take a look at their partnerships, who's kind of backing, RWA Inc. I mean, they have 50 plus partners here, and a lot of these partners are pretty huge. And we go ahead and take a look at it. We have Ape Terminal, a couple of exchange listings, Easy or SE, which we've talked about in the past in the RWA space, Hackin, obviously. A lot of these names are going to stick out for quite a bit. But again, for a new project, now granted, they have been building for quite some time now, but they have a lot of top tier companies and projects backing them, or partners. And also when we take a look at who RWA Inc. is, another reason why I do like them as a project in the RWA space, it can be the same across any narrative really, gaming, AI, RWA, DPIN. One thing that I always do try to look for, that I think a lot of people try to look for, is a docs team. So even in the RWA space, whereas it is a little bit more common for RWA to have docs teams over something like memes or AI, it's still, a nice thing to see. So they do have a docs team. You can pull up their LinkedIn at the bottom of the page. It gets linked to it, but here they are. So it is a docs team. Looks like they do have, some experience here. Kevin Yanni, sorry if I mispronounced that. They have the little blurb here as well. So it looks like he does have a track record of success, securing, 20 million USD in funding, as well as he was a founder of I believe a company called Maersk as well. So again, we can see that the team, they know what they're doing. If according to their bios here in their LinkedIn's, they do have some experience in the field of RWA. So that is something you always do want to take a look at, is if the team is capable. So it does look like that does check the box here. When we take a look at it again, it did just recently launch about 4 days ago, but they did just put in a brand new all-time high as well. So that is worth making note of. But it looks like they did have an audit done by Hackin. They do also have, again, those exchange listings that if we go over to their CoinMarketCap page, so this thing's already listed on a couple places. So it is on KuCoin, Git.io, Mexi, and then Uniswap on the Base ecosystem. So another reason is they are on Base. Obviously, it shouldn't be of any surprise or any argument or discussion or explanation of why Base is going to be a hot ecosystem moving forward in this cycle. I think that Base, stuff like Base, Solana, it just makes sense. One, they have some of the cheapest fees in the space, and especially with Base, being backed by Coinbase, kind of the leading quote-unquote retail or normie exchange, it's just super easy as well. So again, we're seeing a lot of traction on Solana with memes, and even on Base with AI agents. So I think that for the fact that they're choosing Base as far as a blockchain to build on, that is super bullish. I'm glad that they chose Base, over something like Polygon or even Ethereum. It's low fees, it's a hot ecosystem, so that just makes sense in my opinion. So that is something I just want to highlight there. But I mean, either way, when we take a look at it, there is a little bit of dilution to occur. I mean, it's about a 10x, a little under like a 9x dilution right now. So that is something that is worth mentioning there as well. But either way, guys, I just wanted to bring RWA Inc. to your guys' attention real fast because, again, I do think that this project is pretty undervalued. So I just want to go over it with you guys. We can take a look at the tokenomics here as well. When we take a look at why would somebody really buy the RWA token? Well, again, you can pause the page at any moment here. I don't want to just read off the script. You guys can do that, but they have some of their revenue expectations here as well. When we take a look at the RWA tokenomics, a lot of the areas are broken off by like a 2-month cliff. So that put us January of 2025, and then they do have about 6 to 12 month, maybe even 2 years on some of them as far as a vesting schedule goes. But when we take a look at the tokenomics, the team gets 10% of the supply with a 12-month vesting or a 12-month cliff, and then even after that is a 20-month vesting period. So the team's not even going to start getting their tokens until about November, end of November, early December next year, 2025. So by then, there's a potential chance that, the bull market would have topped by then or get very, very close to. So, that is something worth mentioning. A lot of these are on a cliff. And then even after that, the vesting is to occur over, several months. So either way, guys, that is something always worth making note of. And again, you can find more of a breakdown of the tokenomics and the vesting schedule on CryptoRank. I just didn't have it pulled up here, but I do apologize about that. But either way, as far as the RWA space goes, again, we can take a look at RWA and see that it is still only at like a $50 billion market cap as a sector right now. But again, when we scroll to the top, it does include stuff like Chainlink, Avalanche, and VeChain, which, I mean, right there alone is about 25 billion. Well, actually, like 33 billion of that. So really, RWA is kind of like a $20 billion sector right now. If you look at everything else besides the top three that are arguably not really RWA, but I mean, either way, I'm mainly like Avalanche, but either way, you can see the potential here of being early to RWA as a sector, because I do think a lot of the attention is on memes, meme coins. Everyone's having fun in the trenches at the casino, making their 1000x gains or whatever. And then even AI is picking up a lot of narrative heat as well. So I think if you're starting to look at RWA, you are still early, because I don't think a lot of the liquidity is focusing on RWA right now, because I do think it is in memes, and then it seems like it's slowly transitioning over to AI and AI agents. But I definitely don't think RWA is in the forefront of everyone's mind and kind of the hot narrative right now, which only means that you can have the opportunity to be early to this sector before it does pop off, because I do think that, again, the thesis of this whole video is that RWA is going to be a hot narrative moving forward, throughout the bull cycle. So let me know in the comments below if you agree with that theory, and if you see the potential with something like RWA Inc. Again, they have a lot of followers on Twitter, which isn't always a requirement, but I mean, over 250,000 followers is pretty big. They have, they've been on here since, last year, September 2023. So it's not a project that just launched a couple of weeks ago as far as the whole idea and then just went to market with a token a month later. These guys have been around. They have been building, they have been, they've been here in the space, even in the bear market. So that's something you want to see whenever a narrative does pop off and start getting a lot of traction. You want to avoid the projects that just, happened to exist about a week ago and then made a token, because those ones are usually not as legit as projects that were building before their narrative was even, kind of in the limelight. Let me know if that makes sense. If not, I can break it down to you guys more in the comments below. But again, when you look at the fact that they have a lot of followers on X, on Twitter, they also have, in my opinion, decent tokenomics. Again, there is a little bit of dilution, but I don't believe it's too harsh between now and the end of 2025. Not all of that is going to be occurring, I believe. And if we take a look, a lot of partnerships, 50 plus is no joke, really, as well. They've raised over $2 million, 20,000 plus signups. They're trying to tap into a $16 trillion market. Again, a lot of backing. They have quite a slew of products coming to market, with their RWA Launchpad, their exchange, their tokenization, for real world assets, and their team is Docs. Again, the team does seem capable. They have, their LinkedIn's here. If you want to go in and kind of explore that a little bit more, you can do so as well. Again, you can just go to CoinMarketCap, CryptoRank, CoinGecko, just type in RWA. You're going to be looking for RWA Inc., and then you could pull up all their socials, everything like that, if you choose so. And again, just a couple other highlights. They are building on Base, so I think they're in the right narrative as far as an ecosystem and chain goes. I think that Base is a no-brainer for one of the hotter narratives and chains to be building on for this cycle. So either way, that's my hot take on RWA Inc. I do think, under a $10 million market cap, this thing definitely has legs. Again, if they just build and they actually keep up to their roadmap and their promises for launching those different products, like their Launchpad and their exchange, I could see this thing doing some serious numbers. But hey, either way, I could be wrong. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. I just have maybe like a magic 8 ball that I can just shake and it can tell me. That's what I always used to say. But either way, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think of RWA Inc? What do you think of RWA as a narrative, as a sector? Do you think there's potential for this project, for this narrative? If there is, if there isn't, let me know. If there's other RWA projects you want me to take a look at, please comment them below. I try to answer all you guys' comments, and I really appreciate it. And as always, if you guys want to know what I'm doing in these markets, or if you want a way to support the channel, there is a Patreon linked below. It is optional. Or, again, if you got value out of today's video, if you guys could like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, see you guys.